On today's show, we explore the power of going full Delulu, why being just a little bit delusional about your dreams might actually be one of the smartest things you ever do, and how adopting a movie star mindset can help you dream bigger, act bolder, and create a life that's far more epic than being realistic ever could. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, and give yourself permission to dream outrageously big, because it's time to Movify your life, Delulu style. Welcome to the Movify Your Life show, the plot twist you've been waiting for. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and through the Movify Your Life method, I'll show you how to step into the starring role of your story and create a life worth watching. Every Movify Monday, you'll learn how to turn everyday moments into unforgettable memories, activate your main character energy, and use cinematic tools to boldly chase your biggest dreams, like the movie star you truly are. Because when the credits roll, I want you to look back at your life like it's the greatest film ever made, full of meaning, magic, and most importantly, zero regrets. And because I truly believe everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. So grab your popcorn, cue the music, and together, let's Movify your life. Hello, and welcome to the Movify Your Life show. I am your host, Chief Movifier and Director of Movify Your Life, Jessica Grace Coleman. You can call me Jess. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go to movifyyourlife.com or find me on Instagram at movifyyourlife. You can find out all about the Movify Your Life cinematic universe, as I call it, and all the stuff I am doing to help people movify their lives across the globe. Okay, so today's episode is titled The Power of Going Full Delulu, How a Little Delusion Can Help You Movify Your Life. And I love this topic. I have always been a big dreamer, probably a daydreamer, you would say, but also a dreamer of big goals. And I think the only way to dream about big goals is to be completely and utterly delusional about it. Otherwise, you may never get there. And when you do get there, it might not be as awesome as it could be because you haven't been aiming high enough. But the episode today was inspired actually by a 21-day challenge I am currently enrolled in. And by the time this episode comes out, I will have finished it. So you can't currently enroll in it, but I think she does it every few months. But it's called Gateway 21, the Delulu Experiment by the Queen of Delulu, Amoya Shanti. I think I'm saying her name right. Sorry if I'm not. If you're interested, as I say, she runs this challenge every few months. It's like a challenge that then runs into her membership, and I am considering joining her membership at the time of recording because I love all things delusional. You can find out more about her at her website if you would like to find out more about being delusional, being Delulu, at amoyashanti.com. So that's AMOYASHANTE.com, amoyashanti.com. And I know of Amoya because she is in one of the online business communities and programs I am in, Business by Design, and I've been seeing her posting about her offer for the past year or so in the Facebook group community we're in. So I've sort of seen it as it's evolved and as she's been working on it. And I loved it since the moment I read about it. And then she was on a Business by Design podcast. The podcast is called Mind Your Business. And she was on it and she was talking about her Delulu experiment. And it reminded me of all the times I'd seen her posting about it. And I was like, I have to join this. The other idea is all about being delusional, when pursuing your big dreams. Delulu is the solulu, as the saying goes. Delusion, or being delusional, is the solution. And I love it because I love the whole idea of delusion. And I love it because she's created all these great terms and words and phrases, Delulu phrases, around her program. So we have the law of delusion, which is similar to the law of attraction, but Delulufied. She encourages people to Delulu cast, which is her vision of visualizing, at which point they enter the Delulu verse, which is like the plane where anything is possible kind of thing. And we collect Delulu receipts as proof of our goals and dreams coming true throughout the challenge. And there's probably a lot more terms that I don't know about yet because at the time of recording, I'm only a few days into this challenge. And I love it. It's all audios. She drops one audio per day, released through Telegram, and there's a Telegram community as well. So I'm sure I'll be learning way more about stepping into the Delulu verse, and I can't wait. And like I say, I like it because she's created this whole world around her offer, her own language, her own terms, her own place, the Delulu verse. And that's exactly what I'm doing with Movify Your Life. So I have my terms like magical movie moments, movie star alter ego, the people in my community I call my movie stars. I have my own fictional town, Movifyville. More on that coming soon. And fictional, soon to be real, online community and membership, Movify University, Movify U. I talk in movified terms, so all like movie and TV show and filming terms. And I'm trying to create my own little movified community. So I very much resonate with what she's doing in the Delulu verse. And her title, I think, is Queen of Delusion or Queen of the Delulu verse or something in her emails, which she sends out. And I also resonate with her message because I truly believe that Delulu is the Solulu. Being delusional is the solution. If you're delusional enough to dream big, like to have huge, big dreams, and to dream of this epic, magical, movie-like life, in our case, movifying your life, you are way more likely to actually achieve it than people who are being all realistic and sensible and, let's face it, boring. Because those people will never push themselves to go out there and do big things that seem impossible, seem delusional. And they will never become the person they need to become to do those big things in order to get the amazing, wonderful, magical, movie-worthy life they so deserve. So let's just think about this for a moment, because when you're young and you're at school, if your school was anything like mine, if you were sort of around at the same time, the teachers may have asked you what you wanted to be when you grow up. They asked the entire class, and you might have answered something sort of obvious, like there's obvious career paths that, you know, primary schools talk about because they're simple to understand. Everyone knows what they are, like doctor, nurse, teacher, shopkeeper, designer, maybe, accountant. Well, maybe not when you're in primary school, but I'm sure there are some number-loving toddlers out there who knew they wanted to be an accountant from a young age. Lawyer, you know, like these really obvious career paths that everyone knows about, like normal, air quotes, jobs. And the teachers would be all encouraging and they'd say things like, that's great, and you can absolutely do that, and let's help you get there. Though I do realise that things might have changed since I was younger, since I was a wee lass. Nowadays, kids might say things like YouTuber or influencer, but these things simply weren't a thing when I was young. So I'm sure if you said any of these following jobs or careers, you would have got a whole different reply. So if they'd say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you say, astronaut, pop star, movie star, or, you know, actor, actress, professional dancer, Olympic athlete, star footballer, film director, talk show host or game show host or media personality, even author could be seen as too far a stretch. The teachers might have looked at you and said something like, it's nice to have dreams, but you have to be more realistic. And I think when kids are like really young, they can be like, I want to be a professional footballer. And everyone's like, yeah, great. And then as they grow older, they're like, no, you need to grow up now. What do you actually want to be? Like, what realistically do you want to be? And I think that's terrible. I even remember in high school, so I was like 16, I think, doing my GCSEs. A teacher asked me what I wanted to do, and I didn't really have any idea, really. But I said something like either an author or someone who works in film. It was my dream to work in film somehow, but I didn't know how. And the teacher was very nice about it, but she said something like, well, not many people get to do things like that, do they? And I could see she was probably thinking, especially when you come from a small village or a small town where, you know, nothing much ever happens, like, for you, this is never going to happen. And I remember saying something like, well, yeah, but some obviously do go on to be those things and someone's got to do it, so why not me? And guess what? I've now written 13 books and I am, in a way, working in film with Movify Your Life. So take that, teacher. But just think of all the most famous, or most air quotes, important people in the world. Presidents, prime ministers, famous actors and actresses, huge movie directors, astronauts, singers, bands, dancers. If those people hadn't dreamed big, hadn't been at least a bit delusional in their belief of what they were capable of what was achievable in their life in this world, then they never would have got to where they wanted to be. I'm sure loads of people told, say, Pedro Pascal or Brad Pitt or Meryl Streep or Sandra Bullock or whoever, Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. I'm sure so many people told them that, you know, hardly anyone makes it in Hollywood or in the film biz or in the music industry, so maybe don't bother. But they believed in themselves enough to go for it anyway. They were a bit Delulu, and we need to be a bit Delulu too. Or personally, I think massively Delulu. We need to shoot for the moon and all that. But how can we actually be Delulu in our lives? So let's think of all the different areas we could apply this to. And I just want to add a caveat here. I want you to be Delulu with your dreams and think big and shoot for the moon and all that good stuff. but we do have to be at least a little bit realistic with some of it. Just a teeny tiny bit of realism. For instance, I would say you're never too old to pursue your dreams, but if you're 90 years old and you have a dream of becoming a professional footballer and playing for Manchester United, it's probably not going to happen. Same with anything where you have to start training from an early age and, if there's an age limit on things like sports, it's probably not going to happen. But if you're in your 90s and you want to be an actor, that could absolutely happen. So we have to do things within the realm of possibility. But the whole idea of being Delulu is believing that 99.9% of things in this life are in the realm of possibility. If you want to be in a band, but you've never sung in front of people before, that's possible. If you want to be the world's leading unicorn conservationist, it's probably not going to happen. There's still a chance. Maybe unicorns do exist, but it's going to be a whole lot harder if mythical beings are involved. So, let's be Delulu, but with a few little rules, like taking into account things that don't actually exist. Okay, so what areas of life could we be Delulu in? It could be our job / career / business. If you work for someone else and you love where you work and you don't want to leave, you could be Delulu enough to think you're going to be running the whole business one day. If you have your own business, you could be Delulu enough to think you're going to be making millions every year. If you want a career in a field that is tough to get into, you could be Delulu enough to believe you're going to be the next big, huge film actor or director, or the next big singer-songwriter, or an athlete who gets to go to the Olympics and wins a gold medal for your country. Like, if you're being Delulu, then, go full Delulu. We're not taking anything less than gold. If you're some kind of online coach, you could be Delulu enough to believe you're going to be the next big thought leader in your industry. Things like that. You can be Delulu in your personal life. So if you're single, you could be Delulu enough to believe you're going to meet the person of your dreams. Maybe Hallmark movie style. If you want to get married, you could be Delulu enough to think you're going to have the wedding and the honeymoon you've always dreamed of, like ridiculously insane over the top wedding and honeymoon if that's what you want. Maybe you're not single, or you are and you're fine with that. And maybe you're Delulu enough to believe you're going to curate an amazing circle of best friends or be part of an incredible community or whatever you want to pursue. We could think of it in terms of hobbies. You could be Delulu enough to take up a new hobby, no matter where you are in your life, how old you are, no matter if you've never done it before, if you don't have the skills, and become excellent at it. You don't have to make it a profession to have fun with a new hobby. Just to progress and achieve amazing things with it can be enough. Fears and phobias. You might have had a fear or phobia that's held you back your entire life, and now you're Delulu enough to believe that not only can you get over that fear or phobia, but you can absolutely conquer it and not have it run your life anymore. And if we're talking just general lifestyle, maybe you're Delulu enough to believe that you can create your ultimate dream lifestyle. Maybe you want to move to a different country, go traveling for a year, move from a flat into a mansion, live somewhere with a swimming pool and a hot tub, move to a fast-paced city, or move from a city to the more relaxed countryside. Maybe you want a big family, maybe you want 10 dogs. Maybe you want to work from home, work for yourself, or work remotely all over the world. Maybe you want to run your own business or non-profit and work whatever hours you want. Maybe you want to be rich and famous and never have to worry about bills ever again. Whatever it is, be Delulu enough to believe it's possible.
Okay, movie star, real talk. Are you tired of feeling like a background extra in your own life? Then it's time to step into the spotlight and activate your main character era. And I've got just the thing to help you do it. Grab my free Movie Star Alter Ego Starter Kit, your behind-the-scenes pass to creating the bold, brave, action-taking version of you who goes after their dreams like the star of a blockbuster. Inside, you'll discover how to design your alter ego, choose your transformational item, pick your theme song, and build the rituals and confidence cues you need to start living your life like the epic movie it was meant to be. So, if you're ready to rewrite your script, roll camera, and finally take the lead, head to movifyyourlife.com/free to download your free starter kit now. That's movifyyourlife.com/free. Your next scene starts today. And now, let's get back to the action.
So what things am I currently being Delulu about, just to give you some ideas? Well, I am delusional enough to believe that I can grow Movify Your Life into a global empire and movement. I am delusional enough to believe that I will get Movify into the dictionary and for it to become a household term. That's my big delusional goal. I'm delusional enough to believe I can help 1 million people Movify their lives, the Movify Million. I'm delusional enough to believe that I will create a lifestyle that supports my vision of creating an epic Movify Your Life empire, so I can have the time and the brain space to create whatever I want to create. I'm delusional enough to believe I will become a well-known thought leader and disruptor / change maker in the personal development industry. I am delusional enough to believe that I will be leading my own super fun Movify retreats and Movify pop-up hotel experiences in the future. And at the time of recording this, I am 39, a few months away from being 40, and I'm delusional enough to believe that I will be the fittest, strongest, and healthiest version of myself I've ever been in my 40s. I'm delusional. I am Delulu enough to believe all of this is possible for me. And you have to be delusional, because the things I've just read out are not normal things that normal people think about. They're not normal aims people have in life. So you have to be a bit delusional to actually go after them in the first place. And I just want to distinguish something here before we go on. We're being optimistically Delulu here, but we still need to put in the work. So we can't say, I want to be a millionaire and I'm Delulu enough to believe it's going to happen and then think it's magically going to happen the next day. We need to truly believe this can happen for us, and we need to understand that we need to put the work in and become the person we need to become to make that happen. So it's not about denial or magically thinking something's going to happen just because we want it, which I think a lot of people think is like manifestation or the law of attraction. It's like being Delulu plus doing the work. And talking of becoming the person you need to become to go after your Delulu dreams, you can get my free movie star alter ego guide when you sign up to my main character memo and mailing list. That's a lot of M's at movifyyourlife.com/free. That's MOVIFY yourlife.com/free. It's really fun. I've had a lot of good feedback from people who've done it and used it, and it's a great foundation from which you can start movifying your life and being truly Delulu. Okay, so here are a few more ideas of how you can be Delulu in your own life, but Movify style. So we can look at the movie trailer Delulu. So this is acting like your life, your dream life, your Delulu life has already been greenlit. If Hollywood announced today that your life was becoming a blockbuster in 2 years' time, what would the training montage look like? Would future you really spend 4 hours doom scrolling tonight? Or would she be learning Spanish, writing the book, going to the gym, making the scary phone call, taking the course, learning stuff she needs to learn, whatever it may be? I think you know the answer. Then we have Oscar speech Delulu. So imagine you've just won an Oscar for best leading role in your own life, and the interviewer asks, looking back, when did everything change? What would your answer be? That answer alone tells you what action you need to take today. The next is future fan Delulu. I'm just laughing because the word Delulu is funny, but I love it. So pretend future you is already your biggest fan. She's watching today's version of you like she's watching the opening act of a biopic. Biopic. I never know how to say that. Biopic. Is she shouting, go on, this is the bit where everything changes, or no, don't back out now, I've seen how incredible our life becomes. And I love the whole idea of your future self looking back on you, or someone else watching your life as if it's a movie and them yelling at the screen like what is really obvious that you need to do next. And I think you probably know, but imagining someone else say it can be quite effective. The next one is Netflix documentary Delulu. So I've mentioned this a little bit with the camera on you, but imagine a documentary crew is following you around. Not because you're famous yet, or because you've achieved something amazing yet, but because they know you will become someone interesting. So what scenes are they hoping to capture today? The scary email you've just written and sent off? The first podcast you recorded? The first solo trip you've booked? The awkward dance class you went to? I've recently started going to line dancing classes, and I was truly terrible at it at the start. I'm getting better and I'm learning more dances as we go every week. But to start with, I was a mess, hot mess, but you just got to work through it and keep going. But it's really fun too. And then we have main character wardrobe Delulu. So it's not dress like a millionaire or anything like that. It's dress like the version of you who stopped apologizing for taking up space. It's like when you say go dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Like dress for the person you want to be, not the person you are. Sometimes that's a bold red lipstick or a bold red tie. Sometimes it's finally wearing the clothes sitting at the back of your wardrobe that you never wear because they're too nice or you're waiting for a special occasion. Just go full Delulu with your main character wardrobe. And then we have the interview Delulu. So imagine you're on Graham Norton or your favourite chat show 5 years from now. My favourite chat show is Graham Norton. And he asks, what did everyone else think was completely ridiculous when you first started? Like when you first started, what did everyone think was the delusional bit of your dreams? And this is something to really think about. If nobody thought your dream was a little ridiculous, then were you dreaming big enough? Because if your big dreams don't scare you, stretch you, and make people go, what the hell? Or, whoa, that's aiming a bit high, isn't it? Or Do you really think you can do that? Then I don't think you're thinking big enough. You're not being Delulu enough. Your dreams should feel crazy, ridiculous, and a bit mad. They should stretch you in all kinds of ways. They should scare you in a good way, excite you, and make people question your sanity. If these things aren't happening, you need to think bigger, and you need to plan bigger, and you need to tell people about your Delulu dreams and make them as delusional as you can. So now let's get onto some homework, your Movify mission for this week. And I've called it the Delulu Director's Note. So for the next 7 days, every morning, I want you to ask, what would the utterly delusional version of me do today? And remember, we're being positive delusional, not negative delusional. I don't want you running off and reenacting the purge or anything like that. What would the delusional version of me do today? And then do one of those things. Just one. You can do more if you want, but let's just stick to one, otherwise we won't stick to it. So you're basically green lighting one ridiculous action for yourself. And I want you to pick something that is slightly embarrassing because it assumes success. And people might look at that and think you're being Delulu, which you are. That's the whole point. So you could buy the website, like the domain, if you want to start something online, create the business Instagram, design the logo, write the book dedication, make the playlist for your future tour, visit the city you want to live in, practice your TED Talk, walk into a luxury hotel and have a coffee there, pretend you're staying there, or introduce yourself as the person you're becoming, not the person you are. Like, say, I am an author, even if you haven't written anything yet. Just, go full Delulu. And then I want you to write down, I'm the kind of person who, and finish that sentence 20 times. And this is who you are becoming, not who you are currently. So who you're casting yourself to become. And then just like Amoya gets us to write down our Delulu receipts as part of her challenge, every time reality catches up with your delusion, I want you to write it down as proof, as evidence. So someone might compliment your work. You might get invited somewhere new. You might make a new friend. You might finally book the trip. Those are the scenes proving the movie has already started, and I want you to write them all down so you don't forget them. Okay, so the thing is, almost every incredible thing you've ever admired, a movie, a book, a song, someone's journey into space, it all started as someone's ridiculous Delulu idea. Someone believed they could write the best-selling novel before anyone had even read a page, before they'd even written a page. Someone believed they could build the business before they'd made their first sale. You have to. Someone believed they could run the marathon while they were still getting out of breath climbing the stairs. And the thing is, if they had waited until they had proof, they never would have started. You can collect proof as you go, but you need to start first, just get going. And sometimes you have to become just delusional enough to keep going long enough for pesky reality to catch up with you. So if people do call you Delulu or insane or crazy or any of those terms because you're dreaming bigger than your current circumstances, then thank them because they've noticed your Delulu-ness. So you know you're on the right track. So I want you to go and do one gloriously, wonderfully, slightly ridiculous thing today and the rest of this week that future you will point to one day and say, that was the moment, that was the scene where everything started to change. That was when I became Delulu enough to truly believe in my big Delulu dreams. That was my first big Delulu moment. And remember, if anyone tells you you're being delusional, just say, yes, I am, and go about your day. So I hope this episode has got you thinking. As I said, this episode idea started in my head because of the Delulu experiment, Gateway 21 by Amoya Shanti. Again, she runs it every few months, I think, and you can go to amoyashanti.com for more info. It's great. I truly believe Delulu is the Slulu. Let's all be as delusional as possible and aim high and go after huge, ridiculous, crazy dreams. And we'll all have amazing, magical, movified lives because of it. So if you know anyone you think would enjoy this episode, please share it with them. And until next Movify Monday, I will see you on the red carpet.
Thank you so much for listening to the Movify Your Life show. Before you go, don't forget to sign up for the main character memo mailing list at movifyyourlife.com/list for exclusive tips, treats, and behind-the-scenes magic. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, leave a review, or share this podcast with a friend. Let's spread that Movify message far and wide because everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. I'll see you next week for another Movify Monday. Until then, that's a wrap.